So many questions and so little time. So The Turning is about this nanny, house sitter, teacher person who comes into this house to teach this young girl and teenage boy schooling, and in the process she finds out that there are some messed up qualities about the house, about the family. She starts going insane. It's the typical horror story that you've come to expect at this point. I think the first thing that needs to be said about this movie is it's not good. No, this is an awful movie. I actually tried to go earlier this week. My brother had a basketball game at the same time, and right as the movie was starting, I sat through all the trailers. Right as the movie was starting, I was like, you know what? I'd rather go watch him play basketball. I don't know what to expect from this. I didn't really have a desire to see it that night. But I came back today, and I watched it. And I don't know why. I mean, this was just terrible on every sense of the word. This is like what The Possession of Hannah Grace was last year. I don't know if you ever saw my thoughts on this movie. It was awful. It felt like a movie that could have been 20 minutes long that got stretched out to an hour and a half. And this, I feel, is the exact same way. I mean, so much of this movie is just nothing happening and just certain things happening, certain moments and certain scary moments happening, but it doesn't lead to anything, and none of those scary moments play a specific purpose. Like, literally, there's so many moments where you can literally just see something happening in the background, like a creepy doll or a face moving through a mirror, and it feels like it's only there just for the sake of being creepy. It doesn't feel like there's a reason why any of those things are in the movie. Like, it's just there to be creepy and to be a creepy movie that people can be creeped out by. And I think that's the thing that annoys me the most about this movie, is that I feel like there was no purpose for this movie existing. I don't think there is a story here that is worth telling. I couldn't even find much of a story here. It just doesn't feel like a movie that should exist. It doesn't feel like a movie that needs to exist. There's no point in this movie existing. So why do we still have it? This is why so many people say that the horror genre is dying, because we keep getting movies like this. There is no reason that in the year 2020 we should be still getting movies like this and like The Grudge. We should be getting more movies like Dr. Sleep or like Hereditary, movies that really are great and creepy and have a story to tell alongside the scares. The story behind the scares is what gives those scares depth. Without the story, you have a bunch of meaningless scares that mean nothing. Hereditary is a great example of this. Apart from the story, you have moment after moment, cliche after cliche, trope after trope. When you have the story with it, it really supports the scary moments, and when you have that story to tell to get you invested and to get you creeped out, it is creepier, and it is a much better horror movie experience. But not once watching this movie did I ever feel like this had a valuable story to tell. It just felt like cheap gimmick after cheap gimmick and moment after moment for the sake of having those moments. Now, I will say this, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the ending of this movie is absolutely bonkers. Everything up until the last 5 minutes is just cliched. It's filled with horror tropes that you've seen a million times before. But those last 5 minutes left me in shock. First off, I have no idea what the ending is of this movie. I have no idea what it means. I have no idea what happened. It just... it just kind of drops you off. It sets up this actually kind of interesting concept, and then it just ends, and you have no idea why. And that's what annoyed me the most about the ending, is like right when things are getting interesting, it just stops. The movie's over, and I was just left speechless. My jaw was dropped probably for the whole last 5 minutes of the movie, just because of how insane it is and how little sense it makes. But yeah, that ending, I don't even know what to say about it, man. It's just insane. It's just a wild, bonkers ending that makes absolutely no sense, but was by far, looking back on, the most entertaining part of the movie. And I say entertaining really lightly. Take that with a grain of salt. I hated the ending. I hated the movie. It's just not good at any level. It's boring. It's so cliched. And the ending makes no sense. And it's just a really bad experience. And I'm going to give The Turning a barefoot on a Lego. January's almost done. We can do it. We can make it. I think we're done with horror movies in January, which is amazing. We had 3 subpar horror movies. I'm so happy to be done with January horror movies. I know I'll probably see horror movies that are also terrible later this year, but January horror movies just are big stinkers. So, happy to be done with that. January is almost over. We've got maybe like 2 movies left to talk about, so yeah. Anyways, that's all I've got for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell. You'll be one of the first ones to know when I upload a new review. On top of the regular reviews that I'll be doing, I've got a couple really cool videos coming out soon. On February 2nd, I will have my Oscar predictions and desired picks video coming out. Worked really hard on it. I'm really excited for you guys to see it. And then the next week on February 9th, it's the night of the Oscars, I will be having a live stream with a bunch of my friends. We're going to have an Oscar party. We're going to crack some jokes. We're going to react to the winners. We're going to keep up with predictions. This is going to be a really fun time. So come on down here to this channel if you want. February 9th, the night of the Oscars. It's going to be a really fun time. So you can hit the notification bell. It'll notify you right when I go live. It's going to be a blast. You don't want to miss it. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you in the next one.